So we have a lot of drama in Donald Trump MAGA land as they're basically attacking each other. They're in chaos. They're fighting over the throne. And I got to show you this. They're even getting booed off stage. This is a Stefanik. She was running for governor. Take a look.
Our Congresswoman from New York 21, Elise Stefanik.
There was a call for Stefanik to hold a town hall, echoing through the crowd.
You get the idea. But this is what it's going to look like, I think, for a lot of MAGA people if you tied yourself too close to Trump as the economy completely takes a dive. She was running for governor of New York. I guess she just withdrew. She was down like by 19 points. She's also said she's not going to rerun for the House. Like, this is where we're at now. I'll show you the headline then. Stefanik to quit New York governor race, won't run for re-election to the House. If you listen to more what the MAGA people are saying, this guy is named John Fredericks. He's some sort of MAGA dude. And he was complaining about all of the fighting. Have a listen to this.
Well, what a mess Turning Point was yesterday. It was a spectacle of MAGA infighting. I'm not really sure where they're going with this, but some of the speakers yesterday, Ben Shapiro going off on Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and Steve Bannon, calling them frauds and grifters. He just went on to blast the whole thing. Then right after that, we get Tucker Carlson on. He's criticizing Shapiro. I mean, what is the point of this?
Well, the point is, I guess some of these people are waking up that if you form a coalition with a bunch of other greedy frauds and grifters, that's what ends up happening, right? And you put the face of your party as being the king fraud and grifter, which is Trump. And it's kind of funny where you see this disappointment. I understand this guy's like, man, well, why is my side fighting each other? They should be fighting the other side. But that's the point, is you fill your team with a bunch of greedy people. And this is what you get. And it's interesting to watch this thing play out, because you could argue that the stuff they say about each other is all true. And so and it's funny when I see this guy is like, he's so sad and disappointed, but dude, this is who you hang out with. So listen to more what he has to say about this stuff though.
We got all these kids there. Let's get something constructive. Let's give them hope. Let's give them Christianity. Let's give them love. Let's give them direction. Instead, we got name calling and whatever. Erica Kirk, the new CEO, opened the event, and basically she gave what is nothing short of a full-throated endorsement to J.D. Vance for president in 2028. Ms. Kirk, we got to get through 26. Why are we endorsing presidential candidates in 2028 and 2025? I don't know where this organization is going. They had a huge turnout, but it got off to a very rocky start. I just don't think this kind of stuff is going to get us anywhere.
Well, I don't think any of your policies are going to get you anywhere, but there's that. Now, I want to point out something that's kind of interesting. The way he described it is all these young people come, and then you're basically watching mom and dad fight, right? That's how I kind of read this stuff. And one of the things I was thinking about also when people ask me this stuff, like why do people join the MAGA movement or any of these number of things, some people, sadly as it is, need to be told what to think. They need to be told what to feel. And so then they get confused when mom and dad are fighting. So, and according to this guy, your answer, you need more Christianity and love. So there's also that. I just think this thing is ending. And you actually see it with more dropping out. As a Senator Lummis recently said that she's getting out of the race. I'll show you in a minute here. You just talked about Stefanik. Listen to a little bit more what this dude has to say, because it's fascinating to watch the crumbling team or a loser team fall down together. Watch.
And this constant infighting, especially with our young people there that we're trying to get motivated, to get back in the field and do some good. I just don't see the direction it's headed. So I guess we'll see how it plays off,
And basically the direction that it's headed is people know that this is the end of the Trump train. And so that's why then Erica Kirk would say, okay, we're going to go with Vance, which, yes, it is a bit early to talk about that. So I can agree with this dude. He's deluded in one sense in terms of I think you're on the wrong side, but he is at least rational enough to see that, attacking each other is not great. But I'm just telling you that if you team up with a bunch of people who are greedy grifters and con artists and the face of your party is Donald Trump, there's no way this is going to end well. Now, check this out. This is also Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she says 2 things that are not MAGA. Okay, what are these? 1, Ben Shapiro attacking Tucker and speaking at the the Turning Point USA AmericaFest thing. So that's the whole talk of the town over there. They're all attacking each other. 2, the heavily redacted Epstein files being released. failure to release them all by today's lawful deadline, and redacting, quote, politically exposed individuals and government officials. People are raging and walking away. And yeah, that's what's happening. Now, Marjorie Greene, just to be fair, or just be clear, that's a better way to say it. You know, she's walking away because she sees it as a sinking ship, but she's going to run her other game plan to try to pretend like, oh, I was never for Trump, or, she'll try to basically rebrand herself. And it was interesting because she's basically backcrap crazy before, the stuff that she would tweet out. Now she sounds like a normal person, but the problem is, were you lying before or are you lying now? And that is, I don't know what's going on in her head, other than she's just trying to, go with where the opportunity is, and the opportunity is not with Trump. I'll just leave it at that. That's the easier way to describe it. Senator Cynthia Lummis is actually not going to be running, I guess, for Senate again. So this is opening up. This is in Wyoming. I've talked about her before a couple times on the channel. You can find my older videos on that. But basically, she would tweet out this crazy crap. Franklin buys Bitcoin and finds financial freedom. That's been the Republican stuff these days, is use Franklin the turtle. Okay, great. And then she announced this, that she's not running anymore. So she's pushing this Bitcoin crap and crypto stuff. She's all about deregulation and the government buying crypto. And then she says right here. So first she says, "Thank you, Wyoming. Serving our state has been an honor, been the honor of my life." Okay. Deciding not to run for re-election does not represent a change of heart for me, but in the difficult, exhausting session weeks this fall, I've come to accept that I do not have 6 more years in me. Okay. I am a devout legislator, but I feel like a sprinter in a marathon. The energy required doesn't match up. So that's according to her. She's basically not running again. She is getting old, to be fair. And I'll be curious who's going to jump into her place. Will it be another crypto person? Because, she's been pumping crypto like nonstop. And if you listen to what she says about it, this is her a little bit. Watch.
The other thing is the proposal that I have and that President Trump has discussed about a strategic Bitcoin reserve or strategic Bitcoin stockpile, where the United States would acquire and hold Bitcoin for 20 years. Because of the way that Bitcoin has been appreciating since inception, this would be an asset that could help shore up the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency.
All right, so that was her plan, and if you want to watch the whole thing, you can, but her and there's another senator, I think it's Scott is his name, and I've talked about these people before, but they always say, oh, the answer to all our problems and our deficits and paying off the national debt or any problem, whatever, is just crypto and Bitcoin, and you're all going to be rich. It's just it's as stupid as it sounds, and you never know with these people. Like, are these people just working for the crypto industry? They don't believe any of the stuff they said, or they really believe it. Either way, they're either liar or completely idiotic. But that's who these people are. But she's dropping out. I mean, you can see it playing out. Senator Tammy Baldwin is talking about Trump today. Says, turns out most Americans aren't fans of Donald Trump jacking up costs on families in the midst of an affordability crisis, which I completely agree with Senator Baldwin. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Trump train is crashing. That's why people are jumping ship. You also have this, polling data. Take a look at this.
Than 3 in 5 Americans who say the country's on the wrong track. Ipsos, 61%. MU, Marquette University Law School, 64%. Gallup, 74% of Americans say they are dissatisfied with the state of the nation. You see it on your screen right there. And all of these numbers that I could find were the highest percentage who said that the country was on the wrong track since Donald Trump took office. It's not just Trump's poll numbers, his disapproval that's going higher and higher and higher. It's the wrong track numbers that are going higher and higher as well.
How has this changed since earlier this year? Is this a change?
Yeah, it's a huge change. It's a huge change. Think that the country is on the wrong track or the right track. You go back to April, May. Look, the clear majority of Americans thought that the country was on the wrong track at 58%. But you see 38%, a 20-point difference here. Look at that. What we've seen is a ballooning of this, a ballooning. Now you take the average of the polls, right, and now we're talking well north on average. Where you're talking 2 in 3 Americans say that the country is on the wrong track. Now less than 3 in 10 Americans say that the country is on the right track.
So I wanted to show you these things because it's important to understand that you're not alone. I mean, you can see the polling data keeps going against Trump. People are seeing the country going in the wrong direction, and Republicans are dropping out and getting booed in public. That's what I keep showing you. And on top of that, I think the issues going forward, a lot of it's going to be talk on jobs. We're also going to be talking about AI and data centers. And in fact, this is interesting. This was Governor of New York, so Governor Kathy Hochul. She's saying here, the federal government doesn't care about protecting you from the harms of AI. I do. New York is setting the national standard for strong, sensible AI regulation. And so they were talking about this also on Politico. Governor Hochul is expected to sign a landmark bill establishing New York's first guardrails for AI, including requirements that tech giants implement safety protocols and reporting to prevent large-scale harm like creation of bioweapons. And they were talking about, $1 million fines and these kind of things. So they have to give a bunch of disclosures if there's any sort of safety issues regarding AI. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline with this. Already the Trump people were trying to make it so that states can't, enact their own laws. But I think there would definitely be a fight on that one because of states' rights. And I also want to show you this. This won't get a ton of headlines because I know there's a lot going on, but do pay attention to this stuff. This is a Witkoff. Wall Street Journal did a really interesting expose on it. And basically, Putin's calling the shots here. That's what it boils down to. If you don't know, Witkoff is one of Trump's longtime friends in real estate. Witkoff and then Jared Kushner, which is Trump's son-in-law, right, married to Ivanka. They're working on some sort of Gaza thing, trying to get, whatever Trump hotels there. And then they're working on whatever Ukraine or Russia thing, get, again, Trump hotels there or whatever. But it was very interesting because there are people within, the government, like federal workers, that try to push back. But like Trump's people just don't want any assistance. They just want to work with Russia. And this is part of Putin's bidding. This is what it says. I'll read it. It says, there was just one thing. Witkoff would be expected to come alone without any CIA handlers, diplomats, or even an interpreter, a person familiar with the outreach said. And this was because Putin wanted to talk with the Witkoff, one of Trump's dudes. And then Putin's basically like, come alone. It's like, that's literally what it says. And I was like, oh my God. And I read through the stuff. And I guess, again, I know it won't be headlines, but I do want you to understand that unfortunately, because Trump is greedy and all the people he surrounds himself are greedy, they are easily manipulated. You can just see it right there. So that's what's up. I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for your time. And I'll catch you on the next video.